Alright, so for today's assignment, we are doing a matching activity that is over simplifying algebraic expressions. So it's what we've done for past couple days now. In this activity, I'm going to read the directions to you, but you're going to have these directions also for yourself. Your copy will. So each green piece will match with a blue piece that has the same answer. So for example, both of the expressions below has an answer of 4. So this green piece that they use as an example is 3 plus 1, which equals 4, and the blue piece is 2 plus 2, which also equals 4. So that's why they both match together, because they have the same answer. So you'll have to solve the problem on each card and type the answer into the box at the bottom of the card by double clicking in the box. And you all know how to do that. We've done plenty of these type of things where you double click in the text box. As you find cards that have the same answer, drag the blue piece over to the green piece that has a matching answer. You'll need to click out of the answer box before dragging the piece. Okay, so let's go on over. So I am going to work out a few of these with you all. I'm going to make sure it's ones that are going to end up matching up, okay? So I'm going to do a few of these, and then I'm going to let you all go on the rest of them. So let's start with our green piece right here, number 1. And so what we're going to do is we're working out 3 parentheses x plus 4. So right now, this one is just going to be our distributive property. Let me pull up the camera. Okay. So we've got our distributive property we're going to do here. So all that's happening is I am distributing out my 3 with my x, and I'm also distributing out my 3 with my 4, okay? So that means I'm taking 3 times x plus, oops, wrong color, 3 times 4. Now remember, when the variable's by itself, there is technically a 1 with that variable, okay? So then when I take 3 times x, I'm really taking 3 times 1x, which just gives me 3x, plus, and then 3 times 4, which gives me 12. So my answer, I should have boxed that in blue. Okay, so my answer to that one, number 1, is 3x plus 12. So what I'm going to do is I'll go over here, and I double clicked in there. So now I'm taking 3x plus 12, and click on the outside. All right, I'm going to go over, and pretty much what you all are going to do is you're not going to know which one of these are going to match up over here until you actually work them out. So what I recommend doing is work out all of these green pieces first, and then go over and do your blue pieces, and then see which one of these answers match up. And if there are ones that don't match up, then you'll have to relook at the problems and do it again. All right, so let's do, I'm going to do one that I know is going to match up because I have the answer key right here in front of me. So I'm looking at E right here. So I'm taking 7x plus 5 plus 7 minus 4x. All right, let's head on over to the camera. All right, so this one we're simplifying our algebraic expression. We're combining like terms. So I'm going to underline my terms with x, and then I'm going to circle my terms, my constants. All right, so let's start with our underlined ones. So you have to pay attention to the second term that you underline, because that's going to tell you whatever operations in front of that is going to tell you if we're going to add or subtract. So between my 7x and my 4x, I look at my 4x. There's a subtraction sign in front of it, which means I'm taking 7x minus 4x. All right, so that means 7x minus 4x plus And then my terms that I circled, my constants, there's a plus sign in front of my 7, so I'm taking 5 plus 7. So when I work that out, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, so 3x plus 12. And so when I go back, hold on, let me label these for you all so you know what ones I'm doing. There we go. Alright, now let's go back. Alright, so go down to E, and that is 3x plus 12. Okay, so now I can drag my piece over. And it matches up. Oops. So there we go. Let me fix that. There we go. Well, close enough. All right. So that piece matches up. All right. Let's do a problem that you. Okay. Let's do this tough one right here. So we're taking 2 parentheses 8x plus 2 plus 2 parentheses x minus 2. All right. So this is going to be a tough one, so that's why I'm going to go ahead and help y'all on this one. So first, I have 2 different distributive properties I need to work on. So I'm going to work on this one first. So I'm taking my 2 times 8x plus, and distribute out my 2 with my 2 right here, so 2 times 2. Alright, plus, okay, I need some different colors, give me a second. These might be enough colors. Alright, I'm going to distribute out my 2 over there with my x, which is 2 times x. There's a minus sign, so I got to do minus. And then distribute out my 2 with my 2 right here, which means I'm taking 2 times 2. Alright, now I can work out all the multiplication ones. So 2 times 8x, that gives me 16x, plus 2 times 2, which is 4, plus 2 times x, which is the same thing as 2 times 1x, which is just 2x, minus, and then 2 times 2, which is 4. Alright, now I'm going to underline, because now we got to simplify this. We have to combine our like terms. So I'm going to underline my terms with x. And then I am going to circle my constants. Alright. So starting with my underlined terms, remember you got to pay attention to what's in front of that second term that you underline in this situation. So right here I've got a plus sign in front of my 2x. So I'm taking 16x plus 2x. Plus, and then over here, looking at my circle terms, I gotta look what's in front of my second one. There's a minus sign, so I'm taking 4 minus 4, and I'm gonna work those out. So 16x plus 2x gives me 18x. 4 minus 4 gives me 0, okay? So then, my answer would just be 18x. Alright, head on back over. Which number was this? 2, okay. There we go. Okay. So in my box right here, I'm going to type in 18x. Alright, let's look over here at the blue. Let's find another tough one. This is similar. That's probably not going to be the match, but it might. But it's okay if it's not. I'm just trying to work out some of these tougher ones with you all. Okay, so we're going to look at C now. So, C, got 4 parentheses 5x plus 2 plus 2 times 5 minus x. Alright, head on over. Okay, I'll start with this first distribute property over here. So distribute out my 4 with my 5x, which means I'm taking 4 times 5x. So there's a plus sign in here, so I can do plus. And then distribute out 4 with my 2, which means I'm taking 4 times 2. I got a plus sign right here, so I'm dropping that down. Now I'm going to distribute my 2 over here with my 5, which means I'm taking 2 times 5. There's a minus sign in here, so I gotta do minus. And then distribute out my 2 with my x, which means I'm taking 2 times x. Alright, now I'm gonna work out all my multiplication ones. So 4 times 5x gives me 20x plus, take 4 times 2, which gives me 8, plus 2 times 5, which gives me 10, minus, and then 2 times x, or same thing as 2 times 1x, which just gives me 2x. Alright, now I'm going to underline my terms with x because now I've got to simplify, combine my like terms, and going to circle my constants. Alright, let's start with our underlined terms. Looking at my second underlined term over here, I've got a minus sign in front of that. So that means I'm taking 20x minus 2x plus, and then looking at my two circle terms, my second one, there's a plus sign, so I'm taking 8 plus 10. Alright, now I'm going to work these out. Go ahead and combine those. So 20x minus 2x gives me 18x plus, and then I've got 8 plus 10, which is 18. Alright, so heading on back over, this is C over on the blue. So double click in here. I'm doing 18x plus 18. Alright, so that doesn't match up with my 2, so we're just going to leave that alone there. Alright, let's try. I'm going to look for another one to help you out on. How about, let's do number 8. Okay? Alright. Oh, I didn't even look at. Hold on. Alright, number 8. That's 6 parentheses 3x plus 1 minus 5x. Okay. Okay. So, work on distributive property first. I'm going to ignore my minus 5x for now, and I'm going to focus on this. So, distribute out my 6 with my 3x, which means I'm taking 6 times 3x, plus, and then distribute out my 6 with my 1, which means I'm taking 6 times 1. And I'm going to go ahead and drop down my minus 5x. Okay, so first things first, we got to work out those multiplication problems, or expressions, whatever you want to call that. Oops. So, 6 times 3x, 18x, plus 6 times 1, which is 6, and then drop down my minus 5x. Okay, so now I am going to underline my terms with x and then circle my constants. Alright, I'll start with the underlined terms. Looking at my second one, there's a minus sign right there, so that means I'm taking 18x minus 5x, and then plus, and I only have one circled term, so which is just that 6, so I'm just going to drop down that 6. Alright, now work out my 18x minus 5x, just 13x, and then all I have is just a plus 6. Alright, so my answer is 13x plus 6, and that's for number 8. So let's go back to number 8. Okay, so let's do another blue one. Let's do D. Okay, so get that written out real quick. In parentheses, 3 plus 2x minus 6 times 5. Okay, let's head on over to the camera. Alright, so let's start with our distribute property. So, I'm going to distribute out my 10 with my 3, which means I'm taking 10 times 3 plus, and distribute out my 10 with my 2x, which means I'm taking 10 times 2x. And I'm going to go ahead and drop down the rest of this problem, so minus 6 times 5. Alright, work out our multiplication first. So 10 times 3, which is 30, plus 10 times 2x, which is 20x, and then minus, I'm taking 6 times 5, which is 30. Alright, so let's underline any x's, any terms with an x. So there's only one, and then I'm going to circle my constants. Alright, let's start with our underlined term. So we only got one underlined term, so I'm just going to drop that 20x down here. And let's do plus. Now I'm going to start doing my circle term. So look at my second circle one. There is a minus sign, so that means I'm taking 30 minus 30. So when I do that, drop down my 20x plus, and I take 30 minus 30, which just gives me 0, which means my answer is just going to be 20x, because 20x plus 0 is 20x. Alright, head back over, and this is on D. So, oops, I have drawn all over that. Okay. 20x. Alright, how many problems have I done? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, I've done 6 problems. Okay. So I've done, how many are there total? So there's 10, 20. Okay. I'm going to do 4 more problems. Okay. Let's do number 4. Alright. So number 4, I'm taking 5 times 2 times 2x. Okay. So let me explain this one to you. This is multiplication. It's a little bit different, as you can tell, than with addition and subtraction. You can't add and subtract unlike terms, but you can multiply and divide unlike terms. And you could tell that from when we would do our distribute property. Okay, see how I took like a 6 times a 3x? These are unlike terms, but it still worked out. That's going to be the same situation in this. So this is all multiplication, so we'll just work left to right from here. So let's start with 5 times 2. So 5 times 2, which gives me 10. And then now I can take 10 times 2x, which gives me 20x. So my answer is 20x. Alright, so And looky here, my D over here that has 20x matches with my 4 right here, which has 20x also. So I can bring this on over. There we go. So that one matched up. All right, let's work on another blue one this time. How about we do H? Let's look at H. Alright, so 2 plus 3 parentheses 5 plus 5x. Okay. On over to the camera. Alright, so let's move over to our distribute property. So first, distribute out my 3 with my 5. So I'm going to go ahead and drop down my 2 plus, and then distribute out my 3 with my 5, which means I'm taking 3 times 5 plus, then distribute out my 3 with my 5x, which means I'm taking 3 times 5x. Alright, now work out my multiplication. So drop down my 2 plus 3 times 5, which is 15, plus 3 times 5x, which is 15x. Alright, underline any of my x terms. And there's only one with an x. And then circle my constants. Okay, so let's focus on the underlined terms first. There's only one of those, okay, 15x. So I'm going to go ahead and just write my 15x here, plus, and then my two constants, my two circle terms, in front of my second one, there is a plus sign. So I'm taking 2 plus 15. So 15x plus, and then 2 plus 15, which is 17. So my answer for H is 15x plus 17. Alright, I'm going to do 2 more problems, okay? Let's do number 9. So number 9 is 4 squared plus 3x plus 2. Alright. So first you need to do your exponent. So 4 squared, same thing as 4 times 4. So that gives me 16. Then drop down the rest of these. Alright, I'm going to underline any terms with x. I'm going to circle my constants. So starting with underline, I only got 1, which is just 3x. I'm going to drop that down. Oops, plus. Then with my circled terms, my constants, there's a plus sign in front of my second circle. So it means I'm adding 16 plus 2. So then when I work out that 16 plus 2, it gives me 18. So then my answer is 3x plus 18 for number 9. I'm going to work out one more blue over here. Let's do F. So that's 3 parentheses 4 plus x plus 1 minus x. Alright. So start with my distribute property. Distribute out my 3 with my 4, which means I'm taking 3 times 4 plus, distribute out my 3 with my x, so I'm taking 3 times x, and I'm going to go ahead and drop down the rest of this problem over here, so plus 1 minus x. All right, work out my multiplication first. So 3 times 4 is 12. Plus 3 times x. Remember, same thing as 3 times 1x, which just gives me 3x. Then drop down my plus 1 and my minus x. Okay, now underline any of my terms I've got x. There's 2 of those. Circle any of my constants. All right, start with our underline. We got 3x and x. Now, make sure you remember what's in front of that second term. So right here, we've got a minus sign. So I'm taking 3x minus x plus, I meant to circle that in that color. Oh, no, I did. Okay, never mind. No, I didn't. I did it in red. I meant to do this color. Okay. So, looking at my circle terms, in front of my second one, there's a plus sign. So I'm taking 12 plus 1 in this case. All right, so 3x minus x. Remember, there's technically like a 1 with that x, so I'm really taking 3x minus 1x, which gives me 2x, plus, and then 12 plus 1, which is 13. So 2x plus 13. And that was F. Alright, so I did half of these problems for you all. So now you should be able to know how to do the rest of these problems that I didn't do. But if you still need help, if you still have questions, remember, you can email me or private comment me. We can set up a Google Meet or try to figure it out through email or private comment. But I highly recommend Google Meets because you can present your screen to me and I can know what to help you on. Alright, so please don't hesitate to reach out for help and get this work done. Okay? Alright. So remember, don't hesitate to reach out.